Welcome to the first of our Card A Cuppas for June 2026. My name is Fiona Whitten, and today I am sharing the card that went to the Card A Cuppa event this morning, which Carol and Tricia hosted for me. And then I'm going to also share the kit and then make another card showing how this got put together. So this is the card that went. It is actually it is white inside, so I used a white card base and then a piece of basic beige, which has been around for a while, which is a Stampin' Up thing, colour, and then I used various other neutral colours. So I've got early espresso, crumb cake, pecan pie, to create this. I actually used, so you know, it's a die set from Altenew called Patchwork Pathways. So not only can you die cut this shape, but there's also a die to create the background, and also a set of dies that can create this particular shape as well. I didn't go for this one because it's actually a little bit more complicated when it comes to putting it together, and I felt it wasn't fair on me giving the task to Tricia and Carol to try and show how to do that. This one, on the other hand, is pretty straightforward. It's just straightforward layering, so it shouldn't really be a problem. So this is what the dies looked like. I've actually put my own piece of metallic thing there just to hold everything in place. So this is what it all comes with. So you have these two are the ones that make the outside. So I used that one. You think it would be that one, but it's not. It's actually this one, and then it's these two others here as well. So anyway, so that was the die set that I used. There was quite a bit of die cutting involved. I did an embossing of another piece of the basic beige to put inside the card. And so let me just share with you the kit that everybody got, she says. And believe it or not, I had one here and I put it away. But anyway, here we go. There it is, I found it. So this is the kit that everybody received. So as always, there is an envelope. There's a piece. So there's a white card base. So this is a pre-cut card base, so I just simply folded it over. This piece of basic beige was cut to fit the front of the card. So it will, when you glue it on, it'll fit perfectly the front. Piece of basic beige that's also been embossed. So I actually cut and emboss one large piece, and then I just used a guillotine to cut that, because I didn't want to use my normal cutter, which has a sliding motion, simply because I didn't want to pull through these and catch them. So a guillotine type cutter for those is much better. So these are the pieces that I die cut. So as I said, there's two of these. So this is early espresso. There are two of these. You don't actually need the bits on the inside, so you can pop them out and you can use them then for other things. So this is going to go on here, and then this piece is going to go on there, like that. It's very, as I said, very straightforward. So I'm not sure what to do with these bits at the moment. You could actually use them to decorate the inside if you wanted to, but push those out the way. And then there's also a die cut piece of crumb cake, which I used a retired little happy little thing dies from Stampin' Up. So they have retired and they look like this, so I actually used that one. I didn't want a huge piece to go on there, but anyway, so that's what I've done. So I'm just going to quickly, and I've also got with me some champagne iridescent dots. I seem to have lots of these, so I wanted to use those up, and some early espresso ink. When it comes to the stamp, I got out my Uniko Simply Said clear stamps because they're nice small sentiments that fit, and there's a lots of them. So I've got a happy birthday, thinking of you, congratulations, all sorts of things. So happy birthday is what I used previously. I mean, Father's Day is coming up, so I could use that. So there's all sorts of things. Celebrate today. I love you, if you want to send that to a loved one. So I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to stamp this first, because then it's out the way and I don't need to worry about it. And I did actually bring another one, Simply Said 2, but I'm not sure about that. I think I'd have to make up a sentiment or something to go on there, and it's just like, nah, let's keep it simple. So happy birthday, thinking of you, get well soon. Happy, I don't know if Happy Father's Day would fit on there. It would actually. So you could use that. So all sorts of things. Thank you. I want something fairly long to fill in that space. I don't want to leave too much blank. So I'm just going to use the happy birthday. Guess that's going to be easiest. At the end of the day, when you card A Cuppa, no matter what sentiments you take, someone always says, do you have a happy birthday? So let's quickly just stamp that. Put that there so I can have a vague chance of getting it in the right place. Let's see. About there. So the centre's about there. And it's probably end up being wonky. I don't really want to put my head in the way. So let's see. Hopefully that's right. And as I said, hopefully my head's not in the way. I think that's good. Right, that's fine. So that's done quickly. Put that to one side for a minute. So that's going to be my sentiment. I'm just going to, actually I'm going to put my sentiment up there, because all I really need to do now is just start gluing. So first off, I'm going to glue this on the back, onto the front, sorry. Put the glue on the back of this, but it's going to get on the front of the card. So that's going to go on like so. Just need to make sure that it's all lined up with the corners. Don't really want any white to be showing. Certainly not around the edge. Might need to use my eraser to get any fluffy bits off. I did do all that beforehand, but sometimes. So I have that, but I could actually use all the little squares, but for sake of completeness and using all the bits, I'm going to put that on there. Oops. Sorry. I'm forever pulling things close to me so that I can see what I'm doing, whereas you actually need to see what I'm doing. So that's that. Now I could actually do the card as a landscape rather than a and put that sentiment, actually, let's see, could go on there. Let's make these up and then see how it goes. So all I did was simply if you put a little bit of glue, she says, just put a little bit of glue on each of those and then sort of like that. Where is my card? I do want to make sure that I'm actually putting it together correctly. Yeah, So that's simply going to go so that these edges are square to the top and bottom, or as close as you can get it. So you're kind of lining them up with making sure that you've got like squares that are showing through here. You've got a square of the early espresso showing through, and then you're simply going to use another one and add that too. So it is just a question of layering it all up. I think I might have put a bit too much glue on there. Let's see if I can get some of that off without making too much of a mess. I'll do it. So that's going to line up on there so that that is directly over there. So that can go on there. And then I'm going to repeat with this one. So the most time consuming to do this really is just the die cutting. When it comes to doing everything else, it's not so bad. I mean, you could, if you want to, add dimensionals on this. But I'm always adding dimensionals to things, so I thought I would actually be a little bit more conservative today and just put this on flat. So that's that. And again, I mean, you could even put them like that. Make sure that they're square, but I'm not sure that I like that. So if I did it that way, I know it would mean if I made it landscape that the fold would be at the top, which I'm not always over keen of. But it's nice to have an alternative. And then that could either go there or it could go there. But the thing is, having it portrait means you've just got a nice space in between those two to put your sentiment. So I think I'm going to stick with that. Boring, I know, but hey. So again, we're just going to add some glue to this. And actually, you know what? I'm going to use dimensionals. Doesn't matter that there's glue on there, hey. So she says she's going to add some dimensionals, but then where are they? Bear with me 2 ticks. See, probably can put a large one in the middle, and that glue will dry as normal, so don't worry about it. And then I'm going to put one on each of these bits here. Don't really need to go too mad with it, like so. Just going to give that a second, let that glue dry a bit. So I wanted a large one in the middle. You can see I've been finishing off my dimensionals here, just trying to use up all the little bits. It's always best to do that. So let's put this one on first, seeing as it doesn't have any glue on it. As I said, the glue will dry, it doesn't matter. I know people who actually use the glue to put dimensionals on, because being glue, it gives a bit of wiggle room. So you then have time to move things around a bit. I just need to be careful getting this off because I don't want them moving around. I want them to stay where they are. Oops. Let's see, 1, 2, last one. That's it. So that's the last one. So that one can go on here, like so. So I've got those two that are on dimensionals. Let's move those backing bits out the way. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals as well. But I'm just going to use the mini ones. Actually, what have I got on here? Got lots of little bits that I could use, which might be a pain to try and get all the backing off, but hey, I may as well use it all up. It works just as well. There you go, and I'm proud to say that there is not a single bit left on there. I've used it all. There's something satisfying about using every last bit. You just have to watch me peel everything off there, I'm afraid. It's not, I guess it's one I could say I would do earlier in the old Blue Peter fashion, but hey. So that's just going to go, let's see, kind of, hopefully, I'm going to have to stand it up. There we go, that's it. So there's that. And then these are not sticky. There's no sticky backs on them. So it's a question of putting glue where you want them. And I would always like to do odd numbers. So let's just pick out 3. 2 large and a smaller one. Now I could go really tiny. Or just slightly smaller. I think really tiny would be a little bit silly. So I'm actually going to put them virtually in the same place as that first card. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do the opposite and put one here. So that's going to be the large one. Yep. Now luckily the glue will dry clear. Luckily, she says. And then maybe I should use my take your pick tool. Seeing as that's the bigger blob of glue, it can have that one. I need to make sure that one's the right way up. Flipping heck. Right, that'll have to do for a second. Annoying about that, I'm just going to use the tip of my, so it's the pokey tool bit, and get the worst of that glue off. I don't want it spreading on top of the iridescent thingy, because then it won't be iridescent. Right, so that's my 2 cards. All finished. Wow, that's not bad going. So I do have little bits left. So if I wanted to, I could be brave. Put them on here. Maybe I will. Don't know. Let's see. Just decorate the corner with some squares. I never know how these fare actually when they go through the post. I know I like to decorate my envelopes. That's the wrong side. But sometimes I think, don't know, maybe you never know how kind the franking machines are at times as to whether or not it gets stuck on these sorts of things. I would hope not. I guess if you're putting something on that's got lots of dimension, I mean, I would never put something like a you know, a rhinestone or anything like that on there, because that's just asking for trouble, because that will just simply rip off, I'm sure, in the machines. So these things do have a right side and a wrong side, and it's a question of finding the wrong side to put the glue on. Because like all die cuts, they kind of, there's an edge that's created. Oops. Right, okay, I'm going to stop there. I think 3 is enough. I mean, I could if I wanted to do more, but I think I'm going to end up losing patience with it. So let's stop whilst the going's good. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So that's today's card, this afternoon's card. And then this is the card that went as the sample card, which doesn't have anything on the envelope, but hey, there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Let's move these down a bit so you can actually see them. And I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.